Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Etheria restart video. So we're 1 week out, guys, from the final beta test, May 8th. I really encourage everyone to participate in this final beta. The reason why are a couple things. The first one is it allows you to just really get a feel for what this game is going to be like on global launch. You'll have a little bit better understanding of the characters. You're going to understand the best places to farm, how all of the currencies operate. That's really, really key. I think one of the more frustrating things with games is they are so in-depth that you kind of get overwhelmed and lost. And I don't want you guys to do that. So if you have the ability, I would say join that closed beta. Play, an hour or so a day just to get a feel for some stuff. Don't put too much effort into it because it is a full data wipe. But come June 5th, during global launch, you guys are going to have a bit of a head start. So, yeah, that's reason number one. The second one is the more people that join the closed beta, the better opportunity the developers have to stress test the entire servers. There's nothing worse than having a game that you're extremely hyped for, on global launch just crashes because the servers can't handle the amount of people that are playing the game. So yeah, that's something that I want to encourage you guys to do. But today's video is going to be discussing why a PvP-focused game is really, really good for PvE players. I've seen a couple comments from people saying, oh, this is more of a PvP-focused game. I'm not so sure that I want to play it. And hear me out. Right now, there's truly only one game in this genre, which is turn-based combat, that is not PvP-focused, that has done well. Granted, it is the highest revenue earner amongst them, which is Honkai Star Rail, but that is all PvE. And even recently, I kind of have the feeling that it is running its course already. If you look at the Play Store and its ratings, it has extremely low ratings, and that's because a lot of the things that they're doing now is being more immersive with the story mode, which is all you can really do if your game is purely PvE. You can't really add a whole bunch of stuff to the game other than, the story, because that's the only thing that I think will keep you intrigued in it. If they just add in another dungeon and you do it and you can breeze through it or you pay your way through it, then you have to wait for the next PvE content. So if you add a story to that, I think it gets people a little more engaged. But yeah, I really think it's running its course. Other than Honkai Star Rail, you have tons of other games in this genre, which, make no mistake, are PvP-centric games, even if they don't advertise it the way that Etheria Restart does. Case in point, Summoner's War. Summoner's War was the OG game. That's what all of these games have kind of sprung off of. They take a lot of the core mechanics of that game and then build off of it for their games. Summoner's War has tons of PvE content in it, but the main reason why people play that game is for the PvP aspect. It's what keeps people engaged, especially the people that have been playing for 11 years. That game has been out for 11 years now, which is absolutely insane, and kudos to them. But the PvE content that they have there is not what keeps those players engaged. It is the PvP aspect. It's the real-time arena, and it's also the esports tournament that they do every year, which is a cash prize. One of the biggest downsides to these gacha games is it is absolutely wasted money, right? You spend money to pull better characters, to gamble, but it doesn't equate to anything. Some people do the things that are illegal, like sell and buy accounts. But for the most part, you're just throwing your money away for a hobby to play a game that you enjoy. A lot of people see us as idiots, which I don't blame them. Why would you invest your money in something? Invest. Why would you spend your money on something that is basically flushing money down the toilet? But If you add in tournaments like that give you the opportunity to win some money, I think you can justify your spending a little bit more, which is why I think people continue to play games like Summoner's War. But outside of Summoner's War, you have other games as well, like Epic 7. Epic 7 is a huge game that just got this like really big revamp, lots of PvE content and things like that. But it is 100% a PvP-focused game. Like, Real-Time Arena is the whole point of that game for the players that have been in it for 4 or 5 years. And the same is going to hold true to Etheria Restart. Yes, it is a PvP-focused game, but that is what keeps the heavy spenders playing your game. That is so key for PvE players, and here's the reason why. I want to really elaborate on this point, and I even re-downloaded a absolutely terrible game for today's video to prove a point, and that is Raid Shadow Legends. Ugh, I can't believe I played this game, and I can't believe I gave this company my money. It still bothers me to this day. I used to play this game like 5 years ago, and I haven't re-downloaded it for a very long time. But yeah, so Raid Shadow Legends, love it or hate it, is 100% a PvP-focused game. 100%, guys. It has tons of PvE, but it is a PvP game. The thing that whales and huge spenders, there's been, I don't know how many videos I have seen from content creators saying this person spent $1 million. Can you believe someone spent $1 million in this game? Why? The only reason is to compete in PvP Real-Time Arena. That is it. They're not doing it to complete PvE content. It's not that. They can do that extremely easily. They just want to compete in this game mode. Now, I like game modes like this. It is fun. However, when you have a game like Raid Shadow Legends, it's been around for 6 years and people have spent $1 million. It's not something that you're going to be able to do competitively. And Raid doesn't even have like a yearly tournament like Summoner's Wars does, or Epic 7, which is probably for reasons that shouldn't go unexplained, but it's because you have people that spend so much money in it, and they don't have a good way of balancing things. They just go for the money, which is why I can't stand this game. This company who runs it is garbage. But I digress. To prove the point, right? This whole game mode right here, Live Arena, is the whole purpose of this game, right? But with that being the purpose, the game can introduce all different types of PvE game modes to allow for a fresh twist on this game mode every month, every couple weeks, by a few things. The first one, this is very easy, is they can just introduce new characters. This game does this very, very well. Not only do they introduce legendary heroes, but they also introduce a bunch of epic heroes, and they also introduce a bunch of rare heroes. They have tons of heroes, tons. This is the one thing that this game does, I think, better than any other game, and that is adding a whole bunch of variants when it comes to new characters. So you always have a fresh twist on PvP Arena with whatever new design that they come out with. So that is, I guess, a positive that I could talk about this company on. Other than that, it's all downhill. So that's the first thing. The first thing is the characters. The second one is character customization. Now, they do this in a couple ways. The most common that you'll see in games like this is the gear, right? This is normal. Different gear sets that have different abilities. We're going to have the same thing with modules when it comes to Etheria Restart. They also have accessories, which give, again, more stats. This is all for PvP, guys, because if you don't do the PvE game modes, you won't be able to get your items for PvP, which give you that additional leg up. So you have gear, you have accessories. They just added something called relics. Now, relics are just that, a new, different thing that you have to farm if you're competing in arena to give you that leg up. So the relics are similar to what the shells are in Etheria Restart. It's, just raw stats along with some kind of passive ability. And then they just released something called gemstones. Gemstones you can equip to the relics, which then add another minor passive effect. And of course, you have different rarities of this. You've got rare, epic, legendary, mythical, which all add different types of customization to your heroes. They have their skills, which is also pretty basic. They have some kind of leader skill. And then they also have blessings. These are another thing that add even more stats, more things that you need to grind for, more things that you need to pull for, again, to give you a leg up in arena. All this stuff, and then they also have masteries, which was, came out with the game Baseline, the baseline game. All of these things require a PvE game mode, which is why, going back to my original point, why PvP-centric games are great for PvE players. The more complexity you add to character customization for PvP game modes, allow or create the desire and the need for the developers to create PvE game modes. All of these things, all of these different game modes, like these dungeons right here, like the Iron Twins Fortress, they've got a new dungeon coming soon. These two dungeons, these are fairly new. These all give different item drops for you to allow to customize your characters, but they're PvE game modes. All of these things were developed for the PvP player, but guess who benefits? The PvE gamer. You get to do all of these new fun things to try and build your characters to do the PvE content, but it's because the game knows that the PvP gamers want to have that extra leg up when it comes to the PvP game modes. So that's why a PvP-centric game is really, really important. It's the PvE game modes are a byproduct of the PvP-centric foundation. So you guys should be ecstatic. You should be ecstatic that Etheria Restart is PvP focused. That's what keeps people involved. It keeps them engaged to try and test new different variations of characters, how to equip their characters with new things that the PvE content has generated for them. So I know that is a big, long-winded spiel, but a game as terrible as Raid Shadow Legends just goes to prove it. So, yeah, guys, that's basically all I had. I just wanted to talk about that real quick, prior to the game coming out. Don't let the PvP-centric, mindset of Etheria Restart stray you from wanting to play it, because all of the things that they're going to add are going to be PvE game modes to allow for the customization of that real-time arena-focused baseline of the game. Okay? So, yeah, that's all I got for you. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you're excited. I can't wait for next week. And that's all I got. I'll catch you on the next one. See ya.